Hi there. The weather has turned much milder in recent days, but of course it is still February. So is there any sign of wintry conditions returning as we head towards the end of the month and into March, the start of the meteorological spring? Well, for that to happen, winds really need to be coming from a northerly or easterly direction. And when I run this sequence, what we see is that is not the case through the coming week. The weather is moving in from the Atlantic. There's a westerly flow. That means showers or long spells of rain affecting all regions, but the wettest conditions are likely to be in the north and the west. There is a chance of colder air moving down at times across the northern half of the UK at least, but it's probably not going to last for long and it will be transient. You can see that happening here. The dark blue shading makes its way into Northern Ireland, Scotland and Northern England for a short time. It's the type of thing which could give wintry showers over the hills, especially the Pennines and the Scottish mountains, where you would expect snow to be a distinct possibility. But at lower levels, it's not a significant issue. At least that's what this suggests. And the pattern is a positive North Atlantic oscillation throughout. So in other words, it signifies low pressure being close to Iceland and high pressure centered close to the Azores. The weather coming in from the Atlantic, as I've already mentioned. What does that really mean, though, in terms of temperatures which we can expect? The 2 metre values here, the ones down at the ground level, are for London. The columns show the maximums for a given day moving through the next 2 weeks. And the light greens dominate for most of those columns. Runs in the ensemble model being used, which are forecasting daytime values of between 6 and 10 degrees. There's also a reasonable amount of yellow. Those are indicating daytime values between 11 and 15. On the whole, therefore, close to average to above average for much of this time. Jumping up to Inverness, now there's more dark green showing up, runs going for between 1 and 5 degrees, and it fits in with the idea that we could see colder air filtering down across the northern part of the United Kingdom at times, but nothing especially cold. The energy forecast is worth a quick look. This is on the TWO website. You can view it at any time, although you do need a login to select a lot of the options. It ticks up after the first few days. It's the red line to be looking at because that's the forecast energy demand. So it's just indicating that we could be seeing somewhat lower temperatures at times from around the 26th of February, but once more, nothing too notable. It's just after the very mild conditions early on. It's probably reflecting the fact that somewhat colder air is moving down into the northern half UK and in turn increasing the demand for energy there. Also, perhaps some lower nighttime values across the UK as a whole, which encourages people to switch on the heating in the morning. The rainfall amounts which can be expected, it's not looking like a washout. The data table here is for London. There is a lot of light grey in the columns. Those are runs which are forecasting no rain at all at the given time slot, but a number are going for heavier bursts at times. You can see some purple, blue and green showing up in the columns. And comparing that to Glasgow in the northwest, of course, here there is going to be more rain. It just fits in nicely with the weather coming in from the west. It's the west of the United Kingdom, which of course bears the brunt of those disturbances, and they hence drop most of their rain in this part of the country. But strong winds are also a concern in the very short term. This is Sunday the 23rd. 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts quite widely in inland areas and 70 miles an hour possible in western and northern coastal counties. Definitely something to look out for, and I believe there are a number of warnings in place for this. In the longer term, it could be windy at times as well. This is the 10-day wind gust forecast using the GEFS ensemble. For Glasgow, can see several potential windy periods after the initial one on the 23rd, maybe around the 27th of February and then through the first few days of March. Also worth keeping an eye on. It's at this range, of course, it's impossible to say with any confidence when or if the strong winds will arrive, but there are quite a few runs in the ensemble through that period which are showing gusts of around 40 to 60 miles an hour. So strong winds in the very short term, and perhaps again towards the end of the month and into the early part of March. Well, I started off by asking, is there any sign of winter returning? I think the answer is there isn't. There's no signal for a late wintry blast across the United Kingdom as a whole, but there are some signs of colder snaps in the north, leading to a risk of sleet or snow over high ground. The general theme, though, is a changeable one with mostly above average temperatures. Anyway, I hope you found this useful and enjoyed it. Then, if you did, please consider hitting the like button below and subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. And don't forget to stay up to date with the day-to-day weather developments by checking out the weatheroutlook.com website. Thanks very much now. Bye.